So, my last video from a few days ago actually did get some views. As of now, 8 of them, more specifically. Most, if not probably all of them, did only watch less than a minute, but still, it's like, all right, it's something, and it's probably because of the title, like, and how, you know, it's a more maybe a little more attention grabbing title, which the algorithm picks up on, and all of that. Unfortunately, my message was very scattered, and there's no promise that this will be any different. Like I've said, it's not, I don't feel like it's my job. It's like I'm feeling called to just show up and do my thing, express my truth, how I perceive things. I know I come from a good space, and I know others are very concerned about these things as well. But I don't know how many perceive it similar to me. And if I can connect with others who understand where I'm coming from, how I'm perceiving and why I'm perceiving it in a certain way, that could be a start of something, and that might be why I feel called to talk about this. But otherwise, I really feel like, why does it matter? Like, everything will be as it is. But then, of course, we doing our part, just doing without having any expectations. Like, don't try to control things, just be and wu wei, effortless action. So that's what I'm kind of doing. And so a lot of what I'm saying is probably gonna come out like crazy, but I still upload it because, well, it is it is quite like embarrassing, or like it's like a vulnerability thing to just put myself out, even though I barely get any views, but still making these videos and put myself out is like, it's a vulnerable thing to do. I have another channel where I used to be more focused and like direct, but I've become so like humble now, and it's like I don't want to come across, because I've gained a lot of wisdom, and with a lot of wisdom I notice I will come across more stupid, or maybe uninformed, or just whack crazy. But anyway, these topics, these racial topics, yeah, that is also like, me as a white person, it's not my job to like lecture black people. It's not going to be received well. That is the job of black people, to lecture up black people. And there are many in numbers, but in percentages it's a very small percentage, but there are a good number of like black people holding black people accountable for their shortcomings and all of that. So I should do from my end, for the most part, like of course, the thing is, now in the world everything is being directed towards, there's an agenda behind, like, and the agenda I got to find out, or I can't say for sure, but a friend informed me about it, like how the agenda of demonizing white people is way worse than I thought. I mean, I already know that they are going to sacrifice Europe, that I have understood, but it's more like direct towards the genetics of white people. I don't know how true that is, but that to bring chaos in the Western world and bringing out way too many immigrants into Europe, that is a thing that is not going to be it's not gonna hold water or whatever. It's not obviously not gonna work. But yeah, so while at the same time everything there's this agenda pointing towards, yeah, white people is the problem. No, the problem is not white people. A lot of these inhumane systems that we find ourselves in now have been set in place, used by white people that have followed orders, but it's not the brains behind these evil plans, and these structures, inhumane structures, are not forged by white people. There are more intelligent, like there are more advanced and intelligent, negatively oriented beings that have hijacked European cultures from back in the days, and through colonization and all of this, there has been an agenda behind it all. And of course, many white people were weak to not, like, maybe see that this is really bad. This is really bad. But then again, like, Muslim countries are being very excused, and they have just as a terrible history of conquering lands and enslaving people, very much so black people, and castrating them even, and all of that. So yeah, I can tell one thing, even though it's not much to showcase for, but this message is way more stable than my last message, I feel like, at least, because I was in a fast. I was water fasting, and yeah, now I'm more grounded, I feel like. So that's good. But yeah, it's so difficult for me to keep to a straight point. I feel like if I'm starting talking about one thing, I need to add in on like another thread on that, for that to make more sense. But I guess eventually I lose more of the whole point. But hey, at least I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm doing my part. And so yeah, white people are not the problem. We must see how things are now, and not how things have been in recent history. If we're gonna look at history, everyone is really to blame. But what white people should understand, because it's not my job to lecture black people, white people is what Western people, or even brown people, a lot of like brown people are even more racist to black people than what white people are. So like everything like comes from Africa, and that sounds so cliche, but I mean, Africa is where the source of greatness like comes from. And if Africa is not well, if black people are not well, forget about black Americans. They are already like way too messed up for the most part. But there is a small percentage of black Americans that are doing really great, and like, yeah, you go. But just logically, it feels like we cannot have much hope for black Americans to come out of this in a in a positive way. I mean, in a non-destructive way. Yeah, let's say that. But when it comes to Africa, I see a lot of potential in Africa. That's why I keep going back there. It's like, yeah, of course there's a lot of victim mentality and shit going on there as well, but hey, they are more like, what would I say, excused. I mean, it's not helping anyone to have a victim mentality, but I am quite a victim mentalized person myself, to be completely real. I just hate the system like that we've grown up in. I hated school. I grew up feeling a lot like everything was, you know, against me and shit. And so if I were black, I would have had even more things like, you know, yeah, it's definitely that it's, you know, against me. And yeah, the system we are in is against everyone ultimately. I mean, and that is the thing. Oh, this now it starts getting way too scattered again. But it's like, it seems like many white people are like under the impression, like, or not only white people, but people that are more like in the system that are like, well, you are the problem. Like, yeah, black culture and black mentality now, victim mentality, all of that is the big problem. But it's, let's not think or act like this system that we are in is the right system and we all just need to adapt to it and then everything will be all right. No, we need to make more profound changes. So maybe it doesn't need to, like, maybe what I'm saying doesn't need to be all, like, I think it can be understood that where I'm coming from is a genuine space, and maybe that is what's most important. I don't know, but like, let's get back to that. I see so much potential in Africa, although most of Africa, there are very much fucked upness going on, to be completely straight. But I always come in contact with those people that is like, you know, and even in short interactions and everything, it's like the spirit is so great, and that is not without reason. And that guy in Burkina Faso, yeah, this is something revolutionizing going on. Like, we will see how it ends up, but that looks good, or like it's definitely necessary. Whatever, then maybe he will eventually start to get corrupt, but hopefully not. Like, as far as of now, it looks like something very healthy is going on there. And yeah, we'll see what the white man will do now. If there could be another, you know, like, kind of, you know, he might become heavily demonized. What is his name? Oh shit, Ibrahim, right? Ibrahim something on T. Yeah, like, he might very likely be demonized now, and you know, he's gonna be a new Coney, if anyone even remembers that shit, or like Gaddafi, and again, like, both Coney and Gaddafi, they're probably not great guys, but Gaddafi did have some really good shit going on. Like, there was free healthcare in Libya. He could walk around amongst the people with like barely any like bodyguards, and so yeah, I mean, we should support, as long as it looks like this and doesn't turn toxic, we should definitely support what's going on in Burkina Faso, and be very mindful and what is called vigilant, or yeah, like, don't be fooled. Like, if this it starts to become a lot of like trash talking on him and whatnot. But anyway, there is so much potential in Africa, and if we could just see that, if Africa can stabilize and if it can okay, it is a long way there, but there's so much potential for it. Africa is so rich, and there are companies from the Western world that do harvest their resources and leaders are being sellouts, they're being paid so they can live luxurious lives. But then again, if these leaders become like Ibrahim, they will put themselves in a very risky position. So it's not motivating to try to correct things. This is what I want more white people to understand. It's not like, oh, the leaders are so like, there is an influence from the Western world and maybe the Arab world as well, and like there is an external influence that is keeping it this way purposefully. And if, however, hypothetically, theoretically, if Africa could just like stabilize and live up to its proper potential and glory, it would and will, let's say it will benefit the whole world. Although the problem would be, of course, since there's so much hate going on now for white people, like if Africa were to gain stability and gain great power, that could be a threat to, you know, the Western world, and like, you know, because yeah, there's so much hate, and that is because honestly, this is how I see it. There is no way that black people wasn't eventually gonna rise. Africa and black people were like they were gonna rise and regain power. So the purpose of the agenda of the real evil forces on this planet that have hidden in white in a white hidden in white cultures and behind white faces, and used a lot of white people for their missions and whatnot. So yeah, anyway, if I mean, the agenda is to well, now that Africa and black people will rise, it needs to happen in a way that suits the larger agenda, which is to, well, keep people's minds and hearts corrupt, so that the life force of human beings can continue to be well, harnessed and be can be directed in a wicked way. We are of a positive nature naturally. We are of a positive nature naturally. So that positivity needs to be converted to negativity, and it can be done through oppression, which it has been for many years. Many African people are struggling. They absorb the light codes of the sun, positive force. They absorb it, and then it's being converted through oppression, and it affects the whole collective consciousness very much. And however, yeah, oppression is not, it's not gonna be very long lasting. I mean, long lasting in the sense of, you know, planetary timeline. So eventually there's gonna be revolution, and then that revolution needs to be toxified. Yeah. Personally, I don't worry. I know myself enough. Like, I know I am. That is the thing with bad people and good people. This is such a great quote that I don't know where it came from. I think it was just someone someone I know who knew someone just personally who had said that. I don't know, maybe it is a quote from somewhere, but I heard it from like mouth to ear, from mouth to my ear. Bad people, they live well in the wake state. When they are awake, when they're living their daily life, or like in the wake state, basically, they live well, they thrive, more or less, I guess. But when us good people, we might struggle in the wake state of life, but we can sleep peacefully because we have a good conscience, a clear conscience. So I don't worry. That is wealth. Believe that is wealth. Yeah. A whole lot of, yeah. AI could probably take a look at this video and just, okay, what is this idiot trying to say, and put it down into 3 or 4 minutes. But hey, I'm only human. So yeah, that is why I need to be consistent with these videos if I want the actual message to get across, because it can't be done in just one video. But when I start talking, I feel like, oh, now that I am doing it, I want to bring in more things now that I'm at it anyway. But anyway, I surrender for now. Surrender is not the same thing as giving up. But yeah, anyway, that's all for now. Maybe this video get some views also, and if anyone have watched until this point, even if you give it a thumbs down or whatever, shout out to you. I'm good for now. Peace.